Your Honor, I speak to you as an officer of the court of the State Bar of Michigan. Based upon some of the remarks you have just heard, I would state to you that my analysis of this candidate to the judiciary, I give to you as a member of the bar, which I hold in high esteem. It's my life dedication, as well as a member of her family. I respectfully submit to you, Your Honor, as well as to the other judges that are here, that she is of sound mind. She's learned in the law, she stays current in the law, and not only abides by the law, but as an appellate lawyer, she advocates for the interpretation as well as the application of the law. I also submit to you, Your Honor, that she's of sound heart. She's prepared to dispense justice with humility and compassion for all interests and all people that are going to appear before her. Dispel the myth that courtrooms are a bad place to be, and that she's going to work to change that myth so that people will know that courts can be people-friendly and are there to serve the public. It's hard sometimes because you deal with some bad things that happen, but that will be her goal. I submit to you, Your Honor, as an advocate, and I submit to the rest of the bench of this county. I further submit to you, Judge, that she has the courage that is necessary to proceed with the very difficult task and decisions that are required of a judge. I don't need to tell you, nor any other members of the bench here, how difficult it is to balance the interest of the various groups or people that are here before you. We can trace that all the way back to the biblical story of Solomon making the determination of which mother who was claiming to be the mother of the child should receive the child. And his approach was unique, but there's an excellent moral to be learned there in terms of a difficult decision. I submit to you, judges, Judge Fullerton as well as the other judges, that she's got the integrity, the industry, and the insightfulness, and the honor. She will show you that she will be worthy to be addressed as Your Honor by the esteemed members of the public as well as the members of the bar. And that's what we do. I had a friend of mine one time said, "You guys really do that?" Because we were not in a court, we were in a social setting. And he heard the lawyers talking to a couple of judges who were there as Your Honor. I said, "No, it's a way of life. We call them Your Honor because we respect them on the bench and off the bench." She will earn that honor, Your Honor. I submit to you also that she will refrain from anything that would bring discredit or dishonor to her office or to any part of the institution. I make these statements as an officer of the court, and I can convince that I can represent that to the court. That she will not only be worthy to be a member of the judiciary, but she will be a firm and solid credit to the judiciary, the citizens of this country, county, as well as to her family. As such, I now ask, in the presence of the other judges to whom she will serve, in the presence of this assemblage, in the presence of her family, that we may all bear witness that the oath of this high office now be administered to her. Your Honor, Judge Fullerton, I request that the oath be administered.
Vicki's going to come up at this time, everyone. It's a great honor for me, by the way, to all of you to participate in this ceremony tonight. It's a great honor to participate with the Bayeh, Haley, Nicola family on this occasion. I've known Vicki a long time, as everyone knows. She was in my court, as David pointed out, for 3 hard, long years. That's not quite Mike Levitt's 10-year record, some of you remember Mike. But she did endure, and of course she has continued on in the office to make every one of us proud of her. Trial lawyer, appellate lawyer. But other things I want to mention. I knew Vicki before Pat was even involved in her life. So you see, one day she reported to Marion and me. I had a date last night, and I met the man I'm going to marry. And then, as we know, she married Pat, and along came 3 more lovely additions to the Nicola Bayeh Haley family. And I can remember Diane and I going over to her home to see when Danielle and Jacob were still receiving treatments for their jaundice. So we've been a long way together, Vicki and I, over the roads, and it's just the highest honor I can ever imagine to be able to participate tonight in this wonderful ceremony for her, recognizing, as you've all heard, this wonderful career. And I know she does have a great future, because she is our future. And looking out at the composition of the judiciary tonight reminds me back so many years ago when I started. We didn't have the women present, and I'm looking over here. I see 2, Johnny and Kay Beam here, and I have Tracy Collier-Nix, and Judge Dowd, and Judge Manley, and when I started, I was it. But this is a great day for the women in the judiciary, and we're moving along. I'm going to ask her now to take the oath. I, Vikki Bayeh Haley,
I, Vikki Bayeh Haley,
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully execute
and that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Judge of the 67th District Court,
of Judge of the 67th District Court,
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Gentlemen, let me make one more remark. I just can't help but doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Judge Vikki Bayeh Haley.
I'm almost speechless. This is overwhelming. Thank you so much for coming out here to support me on such a cold winter day. Almost a year ago to the date, I announced that I was going to run for this position. And it's a funny little story. We had the announcement planned at a local restaurant in Mount Morris where I grew up in. And there was when there were snowstorms and schools were canceled, and you couldn't drive. I mean, just piles and piles of snow. I remember our Christmas decorations were still in the yard because they were just covered in snow. And so I managed to get to the restaurant. We got there a few minutes early, and I thought, nobody's going to show up. I thought, is this an omen? And then they told me the water was frozen, and I thought, yeah, this is an omen. But I tell you what, people started coming in from the community. My friends from the Neighborhood Watch, block clubs, my colleagues from the legal community, and it was just overwhelming. On this campaign and in this process of the work I've done over the years, I didn't meet constituents. I met friends. I met friends who are like family to me, and I love you guys dearly. And it has been good for me. And where's Steve Doss? He may have had to leave, but oh, there's Steve. Steve, you referred to the retirees as your retirees. Now I'll share, but let's be clear, they're my retirees too. Very clear about that. I started going to work with the retirees and go to their events, and they all said, you know, you're doing so much for us, and I got back more than I could ever give you. Working, you know, in the prosecutor's office in the legal profession can be very stressful. People's lives, if it's a murder case, even if it's a landlord-tenant case, small claims case, that is so important to that person who comes before the court. And it's a big responsibility whether you're representing or working in the court as an advocate representing a party, or whether you're a judge. And it was just so good for me to be with people in the community and just to recognize that everybody is so important and every case is so important, no matter what the consequences of the case are, whether it's a civil or criminal. Cases are more, and I remember Judge Jewell said this at a sentencing on a murder case that I tried in his court. It can be very easy to get lost in the file and the paperwork of everything. And I've learned so much from all of my new colleagues on the bench. I've been in most of your courts, and I've taken so much and learned so much from you about temperament, about efficiency, about you know, the academics of legal scholarship. But what I've learned, I think, collectively from all of you is the recognition, and I'm so proud of this Genesee County judiciary. You are judges that care. You are judges that recognize that this is not a pile of paperwork and file numbers. There are real people whose lives are affected in a real way by the decisions that judges make. And I think that this job is a job of service to the community, and I chose to run for judge in the Mount Morris Genesee community because that's where I was from, and it was my opportunity to give back to the people in my community whom I love. And I want to thank all of my predecessors on the bench for setting, pardon the pun, setting the bar. It's a high bar, and I have learned so much from all of you, and I am looking forward to working with you and working for the community and making the system work. And I just want to thank you so much, and I appreciate everybody and each and every one of you that are here. Thank you.